The story opens in Ukraine at a suddenly deserted bus station. No one is arriving or departing. Meanwhile, an agent named Red Star approaches a car where two people are waiting inside. At the same time, we see another MI6 agent, Martin. Red reaches the car and hands over a hard drive containing extensive bank account details. However, as soon as the two individuals receive the hard drive, it becomes clear that a sniper is hidden nearby. Martin quickly realizes something is terribly wrong, but before he can act, the sniper tragically kills Red. Seeing this, Martin is overcome with fury. He immediately begins firing his weapon, and bullets fly everywhere. He successfully takes down one sniper. Then, another agent flees towards Red, grabs Red's purse, and tries to escape. But Martin is relentless. He pursues the agent, catches him, and kills him. Martin then retrieves the purse and returns to the woman still in the car. Suddenly, a man appears, holding the woman in the car at gunpoint. He threatens Martin, saying he will kill her if Martin doesn't hand over the purse. Martin, seeing the grave danger, throws the purse towards the man. As the man's attention shifts to the purse, Martin seizes the opportunity and kills him. The narrative then jumps to the present day, revealing that these events occurred 12 years ago when Martin was an MI6 agent. These memories continue to haunt him, but Martin has since left MI6 and now lives in London with his daughter, Lisa. Lisa joins Martin in his car, and as they talk, we learn that Martin is currently fighting a boxing match to earn money for their household. He gives Lisa a significant sum to invest for herself. Lisa goes inside to make the investment while Martin's fight begins. His opponent is powerful and they exchange blows for a long time. However, the other fighter lands a devastating punch and Martin's vision blurs. Lisa, watching from the sidelines, is visibly worried for her father. Despite being severely beaten, Martin tells the referee he wants to continue fighting. His opponent continues to hit him relentlessly, eventually winning the match. After the fight, Martin sits outside with Lisa. A man approaches and gives money to Lisa. Martin then realizes that Lisa had bet against him, perhaps knowing he would lose. This revelation deeply displeases Martin. They return home. That evening, Martin spends time with a woman, while Lisa draws in another room. However, when Martin tries to sleep, the painful memory of Red's death keeps him awake. Despite this, Martin tries to focus on spending as much time as possible with his daughter. He teaches her how to shoot and improve her aim. But today, Lisa is very upset. She tells Martin she wants to live a normal life, like other children. She wants to go to school and, when she grows up, become a musician or a painter. She expresses her dislike for constantly moving from place to place. Martin tells her not to worry, assuring her he can teach her anything she wants to learn. But Lisa remains unconvinced. The next day, Martin gets ready for work as a security guard. However, he frequently loses his temper, often resorting to violence instead of reasoning with unruly guests, which constantly angers his manager. Today, while checking guests, he encounters a woman named Sasha. She tells him she needs to speak with him urgently. Puzzled by her request, Martin allows her to enter. Soon after, a group of armed individuals silently infiltrates the building. Martin reaches Sasha, who reveals that her father, a respected journalist, knew and greatly admired him. Following in her father's footsteps, Sasha aims to expose dangerous figures who threaten society, but she needs Martin's help to retrieve specific files that only he can access. Martin is confused about which files she means. At that moment, the armed individuals open fire indiscriminately. Martin, seeing Sasha in immediate danger, tackles her to the ground to shield her from the bullets. The attackers continue to shoot at them, and Martin realizes they are trying to kill Sasha. He grabs her and begins to run. Unable to exit through the main door due to the widespread presence of the gunmen, he leads her out through the kitchen, killing a thug without hesitation when he encounters one. In the chaos, Sasha seizes an opportunity and escapes, knowing that Martin will keep any attackers away from her. Martin realizes Sasha is gone and returns home. However, he is now paranoid, believing they will follow him. He grabs a baseball bat and searches his house. After confirming he's alone, He goes to the kitchen, where he finds Trevor, a friend and MI6 agent, accompanied by another MI6 agent. They want to talk to Martin. They tell him that Sasha, whom he met today, is searching for certain files, and they need him to find them as soon as possible. They warn that if the Russians acquire the files first, they will be in serious trouble. At this point, Lisa enters the room. Trevor adds that finding these files might help them discover who killed Martin's wife. Hearing this, Lisa is devastated, as Martin had always told her mother died in a car accident. She learns for the first time that her mother was murdered, becomes enraged, and leaves. The woman seen at the beginning of the film was Lisa's mother. As Trevor leaves, he tells Martin to consider their offer and let him know his decision. Martin goes to Lisa, but she is furious. She accuses him of lying to her, especially about her mother, and expresses her strong disapproval. Haunted by Lisa's words, Martin cannot sleep all night. But in the morning, he decides he will join Trevor and search for the files. As he packs, Lisa comes to him asking what he's doing. Martin explains he's going on a mission. Lisa asks if he's leaving her, to which Martin reassures her he will return very soon and that he has no other choice. He goes outside, opens his car's trunk, and begins to put in his belongings. Suddenly, a man attacks him from behind, striking him on the head, rendering Martin unconscious. After a while, Martin regains consciousness to find himself tied to a chair. Standing before him is Tatiana, a KGB agent. She coldly informs Martin that his time is short. Tatiana demands that he bring her the files, and Sasha threatens to kill his daughter if he fails. She then releases him, sending him back to his home to begin his mission. Unbeknownst to Martin, an MI6 agent is tailing him. Martin eventually confronts and shoots the agent, declaring, "I don't want anyone following me." He then heads to a bar and meets Max, the owner, whom he believes works with Sasha. Martin demands to know Sasha's whereabouts. Max denies any involvement, but Martin, unconvinced, pulls out his gun and threatens him. Max presses a hidden button, summoning a security guard. Martin, anticipating this, quickly dispatches the guard and then Max, taking Max's phone to find Sasha's location. As more guards arrive, Martin, ready for a fight, systematically eliminates them all. Once outside, he checks Max's phone and discovers Sasha's location. Martin quickly reaches Sasha, who is initially frightened to see him. He reassures her that he's there to help, not harm her, and asks her to explain everything. Sasha hands him her father's diary. Meanwhile, we see Tatiana, who has taken Lisa captive. However, Tatiana treats Lisa kindly, even watching a match with her as if she were her own child. Sasha reveals to Martin that her father had discovered a factory secretly producing chemical weapons. He had gathered all the incriminating information in a set of files that, if released, would shut down the factory. That's why so many people are pursuing them. Sasha explains that these crucial files are stored securely in a bank vault. To locate this bank, they need to access all the information related to the Red Star mission. With this new lead, Martin and Sasha head to an old building where a CIA hacker lives. Martin confronts the hacker, holding him at gunpoint, and demands access to all files and footage from the Red Star mission, which occurred 8 years prior. As the hacker displays the footage, Martin spots Red Star holding a yellow paper with bank account details, the very accounts where the files are stored. Sasha then calls Martin, warning him that numerous MI6 agents are entering through the back door and that he needs to prepare for a fight. Martin hands the gun to the hacker and gets ready to leave. Meanwhile, Trevor enters the building, attempting to contact Martin, but Martin ignores his calls. Trevor dispatches 2 of his henchmen after Martin. One henchman attacks Martin, and they engage in a prolonged struggle. Trevor then arrives, and he and his men aim their guns at Martin. However, Martin is not easily caught. He kicks the wall, bringing down the henchman with him through a window. Both are injured, but before the henchman can recover, Martin quickly gets into Sasha's car and drives away. Now, both MI6 and the CIA are after Martin. Martin drives to an old building, trying to recall the code written on the yellow paper, but his memory fails him. Soon, Trevor and his henchmen surround the building. Seeing no escape, Martin surrenders. Suddenly, Sasha appears from behind and hands Martin a gun. She warns Trevor that if he and his men block their path, she will kill Martin. Realizing Trevor won't back down, Sasha puts the gun to Martin's head and declares that she is the only one who can access the account. She threatens to shoot herself if they are arrested. Trevor, alarmed, orders his men to lower their weapons. Martin and Sasha manage to escape easily and flee. Trevor's people search everywhere but cannot find them. We next see Martin and Sasha at the airport. Martin steals a young woman's passport and gives it to Sasha, telling her that she resembles the woman and should use the passport to avoid detection. Meanwhile, Trevor visits the CIA hacker to track Sasha. The hacker informs him that Sasha hasn't traveled or booked any tickets, but Trevor insists on seeing footage from all airports to confirm. Tatiana then calls Martin, threatening him again about Lisa. Martin tells her that Sasha is with him and they are going to Ukraine to retrieve the file, assuring her it won't take long and pleading with her not to harm his daughter. Trevor, reviewing the airport footage, spots Martin and Sasha boarding a flight to Ukraine. He immediately alerts all his agents in Ukraine to monitor them. Soon, Martin and Sasha arrive in Ukraine, with Trevor's agents close behind. We then see Lisa talking to Tatiana. Lisa asks about her mother's death, and Tatiana tells her the full truth. Both Tatiana and Lisa then depart for Ukraine. Upon their arrival, Tatiana calls Martin to inform him of their location. Martin and Sasha head to the bank, with Trevor's people in pursuit. Upon reaching the bank, Sasha enters and requests access to her locker room. A staff member takes her inside, then leaves. Sasha then calls Martin, telling him to come in. Trevor and his team also enter the bank, knowing Sasha is in the locker room. As Trevor steps inside, Martin shoots him. Martin explains to Trevor that they don't have the code, but since Trevor has been working on the case for years, he must know it. Martin demands that Trevor enter the code. Trevor complies, and as the safe opens, they retrieve the files. Armed, they quickly exit, leaving Trevor behind. They get into their car and drive to a secluded location, far from Trevor's pursuit. At this desolate spot, Sasha shoots Martin, revealing that she checked his phone and discovered he was working with the Russians. She demands the files. Martin tries to explain that he's doing this to save his daughter, who is in Tatiana's custody, but Sasha ignores him. She shoots Martin again and flees with the files. After a long while, Martin regains consciousness and finds Sasha gone. Tatiana calls him, asking about his whereabouts and if he has Sasha and the files. Martin lies, hiding the truth. Tatiana tells him they can meet that night for him to get his daughter back. Martin then calls Trevor, explaining that Lisa's life is in danger and he needs Trevor's help to save her. Trevor agrees. Now Martin needs to find Sasha. He goes to the taxi company where they rented the car. He tracks the car's location and discovers Sasha has gone to a railway station. Martin rushes there and searches all the platforms. When he spots Sasha, he renders her unconscious and puts her in his car. That night, Martin goes to Tatiana's location. Tatiana begins to release Lisa, but before Lisa leaves, Tatiana gives her a bracelet. As Lisa reaches Martin, he tells Tatiana the location of an apartment, claiming she will find something there. They begin to leave, but then it's revealed that this was all Martin's plan. Sasha, who is there, begins to attack Tatiana. Seeing this, Tatiana shoots Martin in the stomach, and he falls. Tatiana then turns her gun on Sasha, but before she can fire, Lisa grabs a gun and shoots Tatiana, killing her. Trevor and his men then arrive. Sasha, seeing them, grabs the files and jumps from the bridge. She is shot and falls, injured. Months pass. Martin is in jail. Lisa lives with a new family but regularly visits her father. She eventually meets Trevor, gives him the files, and asks him to free her father. Trevor agrees. Meanwhile, Sasha is still alive. She had uploaded all the files online, exposing the truth to the world. Sasha is invited by news outlets to shed more light on the situation. She details what happened, leading to widespread protests as everyone now understands the illegal activities of those factories. Time continues to pass. Martin is eventually freed and opens a small restaurant where he and Lisa live. Sasha comes to visit them. However, it's hinted that many Russian agents are still after them, unaware of their continued threat. The film ends here.